So, Thursday Night Smokes this week, 1st of February. 1 month done already. Going for a lowland whiskey. This is something called Daftmill. Daftmill? Anyway, there you go. Jonathan sent this to me, who's one of my followers over on Instagram and TikTok. I've done quite a few of his samples that he sent me. This one scares me a little. It's 55.7. So this is definitely cask strength and a bit. So it's going to pack a punch. That's one of the reasons why I brought down my new glass from DIAMAS, because that actually does help with a very strong cask strength whiskey. Now, if I hadn't tried that before, I wouldn't believe that when someone told me that, but it does work. That's interesting. There's something very different about lowland whiskey to highland whiskies. Everything's a lot more heavier on your nose. It's weird. Highland whiskies tend to be quite fragrant, although they're peaty a lot of the time. They're quite high up on the scale in your nose. This is very malty, actually. That definitely does open it up nicely. Right, I'm pairing that because it's a cask strength whiskey, so therefore very strong. I'm going to go peppery. I'm going to go for a D4. The draw is quite nice. I have to be honest, Partagas have let me down a bit, I think, in the last 6 months or so. I think Cuba's got an issue with rolling fresh cigars. They're not letting them age enough. So although Partagas is still enjoyable, they're not quite as peppery as they used to be. You see, now that is a 2023 cigar, and I shouldn't be able to retrohale it quite so easily. That should really burn when you retrohale, and it's actually quite mild. It's, if anything, I would say it's almost Epicure, you know, the Hoyo de Monterey range. It's getting close to that in terms of its flavor profile, which is too light. It shouldn't be that. But anyway, hopefully it will pick up and become quite a bit more peppery as the smoke goes on. Whiskey. Ooh. That's got a real zest. But not, that's interesting. There's not that overwhelming burn. It's there, but it's manageable. Although my voice is going a bit. There's a real spice to that. Not peat at all, very spicy. Almost, is it almond? Marzipan, that's it. It's a very sort of marzipan note to that. So almond sort of end. I quite like that. That's a real zesty little dram, actually. So again, thanks very much, Jonathan, for that. I shall very much enjoy this. The cigar's picking up a little bit. Still a bit light, I think, for a Partagas, but I don't mind. They're pairing really well, which is nice. So I hope everybody's having a really good week this week. Now we're getting into February. January is done. Thank God. I'm not a fan of January, I have to admit. The Ghost Walk I did last week, that was interesting. Quite enjoyed it. I'm still a bit of a skeptic, if I'm honest, but they're doing a Ghost Walk in March in, I believe it's Sherborne, which isn't too far from me. As you know, I tend to go to, I tend to go to Sherborne quite often for Hannah over at Vineyards. So quite like the area. I love the town. It's very much the town that time forgot. So I quite like going there, and they're doing Ghost Walks in March. So I plan to go over in March to do one. Hopefully I'll film that one, and because it's outside, I'll be able to have a cigar as we walk around, and yeah, if I film it, I'll let you know what it is. The company doing it is called X Tours. You can find them on Facebook. They also have a TikTok page, I believe, so go and have a look. That's not bad. I think it's interesting. You have this with drinks. If I'm honest, if I had that on its own, it's all right. I don't know if it's necessarily worth its price tag, but it's not bad. Having it with a cigar makes it very good. So it's interesting how pairings can work like that. That having that on its own, but having it with something else, just raises it that extra level. Anyway, there you go. That's Thursday Night Smokes for February, and I shall catch you guys on the next one.